Happy birthday, America. Happy 4th of July, my free three friends. And today, we're not taking any days off. We've got a full slate of baseball, and we've got a little bit of WNBA action. I've got a few best bets on the way for you guys. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? It's your boy, Noble Living, back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we're just trying to get to the bag together, and we're just trying to make that money. Yesterday, making that money is exactly what we were able to do on the channel. A full sweep. Let's get it. Let's get it. Well, we gave out 4 picks and we got 3 of the 4 picks right. One bet actually pushed. We went 3-0 on Connor Wong and Brian Reynolds both to get a hit. No sweat bet there. Brittany Griner's points, she got it done. Kayla Cooper also got it done. You love to see it, especially when you have a high scoring total like over 100 points for the Mercury. So all the bets hit. You love to see that. Astros pushed in the first 5. We took them on the money line at really good value. Should have probably taken that half run line, but it's all right. We took the first 5 money line. Not a bad bet. Astros actually won the game outright. So if you were tied there and you rolled it over into the full game, you would have won your bet anyway. So 3-0-1 on the day. Good start to the month of July. That's exactly what we needed here on the channel. Now, my goal is to run it back today. If you have been enjoying the videos this summer, I'm trying to sprinkle in a few different sports in there for you guys. Click the like button and subscribe to the channel because we're going to be here crushing baseball all season long, and I'm trying to keep it fresh. I'm trying to give you guys different angles, different plays, different teams, different perspectives, so this way we can continue to beat the sports books but also keep it fun at the same time. And in today's video, I'm actually gonna give you a few different types of best bets. I got one player prop parlay that's a little bit different, and then also if you stay till the end, I've got a red, white, and blue parlay for you guys. You're gonna want to stay to the end to grab that red, white, and blue parlay. Now let's dive into these winners for today. All right, for my first best bet of the day, let's look at this MLB card. A lot of early games that I actually do love. So if you do want the early games, click the link in the description, come to the Discord group. Hopefully you guys are watching this video before some of those 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock games started. But all the games I'm going to talk about in today's show are a little bit later on in the evening. So the first best bet, we're going to go to Atlanta as they're taking on the San Francisco Giants. I've got the Braves on my lid today. And instead of taking a team or a side in this one, I'm just going to actually go with the overall under in this game, under 8 minus 115. Now, if you want to buy the line here and get this one to 8.5, I'm not opposed to it. That's what it opened up at, and it's already been bumped down. So I really like the fact that, kind of on the right angle. I wish I got the better number, but it's all right. Logan Webb is on the mound for the San Francisco Giants. 6-6 on the year, 3.12 ERA. That's top 20 in the National League. He's been really strong for the Giants this year. We even saw that in his last start against the Dodgers. We went 7 innings, 5 hits, and 2 earned runs given up against a very strong Dodgers lineup. The Giants actually won that game 5-3. So Logan Webb is a guy who's going to give up a few runs here and there, but that's really just because he's a pitch to contact guy. He gets a lot of ground balls, but I do like the fact that Atlanta's bats have gone cold. Literally over the past month, this Atlanta offense is completely different. Ever since really Ronald Acuna has gone down, they've been decimated with injuries as a whole. It's affected their overall offense, and I found a funny stat this morning, and it said that the bat right now off of right-handed pitching this month, the Atlanta Braves are 79 WRC plus, right? That's absolutely crazy. That's below the White Sox and the Oakland Athletics. So they're literally hitting right-handed pitching worse than the White Sox and the A's right now. And then when you look at the Giants, they're not much better than the Braves. They're a little bit better than 100 WRC plus against right-handers over the past month. But overall, they still have not been hitting right-handed pitching well. So that's why I think Charlie Morton, who's on the mound for the Braves, will fare pretty well today. He's a 3.89 ERA. And we saw in his last start against the Pirates, which was also at home, he went 6 1/3 inning. He only gave up 3 hits. He gave up no runs to go with 7 strikeouts. That's exactly what you want to look for in a starting pitcher. And he's been slightly better at home this year on the road, 3.55 ERA over 45 innings at home. So this is just an overall angle where I think both of these offenses have been a little bit cold. If you've looked at some of the other games thus far in this series, they both have gone under. Yesterday was a 3-1 finish, and the game before that was a 5-3 finish. So we would have pushed on that, but I actually took the 8.5. I put that on the Discord channel 2 games ago. So for me, I still am looking at this series. I do think it is more of an under series, and we're going to go with that again today as we have 2 pitchers who have been fairly decent, but we're fading both of these offenses here. Under 8 in the Giants and Braves game as our first best bet of the day. For our second best bet of the day, I think I'm going to jump over to the WNBA real quick, and then I'm going to come back to baseball with a little player prop parlay for you guys. So in the WNBA, there's a game going on on tonight between the Minnesota Lynx and the Connecticut Sun. And this is just more of a narrative play for me. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So I like this situational angle. And if this was the NBA or college basketball, which is what I've really been kind of using my college basketball and handicapping cap, in a way to handicap WNBA because I see a lot of similarities, I would take the Minnesota Lynx in this situation today against the Connecticut Sun. We're going to lay the -3, -112 odds on FanDuel. Now, again, you guys know I like to tease the hook, but -3, I'm not opposed to laying that. So what's the situation, Noble? So let's look at both of these teams real quick. Let's start with the Connecticut Sun. The Connecticut Sun right now are 15-4 on the year, but this is the thing. They started off the year like 12-1. So they've dropped 3 of their last 5 games. That is what is the concerning with this Connecticut Sun team. Now, when you look at the losses that they've had, they lost to the Vegas Aces, not a bad loss. Okay, we know the Aces now are back healthy, back in that championship form. They lost to the Seattle Storm, okay, a contender in the Western Conference, we get it. They beat the Mystics by 3 points, 94-91, and it took overtime to get that done. So that was not like it was an easy win, and that was a game they had to fight and claw back to win. The Mystics actually blew that game, and that's a Mystics team that's just bottom in the WNBA. Okay, next game, Atlanta Dream at home. They lose that game. The Atlanta Dream are under 500, guys. Keep that in mind. And they beat the Phoenix Mercury. We were on a player prop in that game, but if you watch that game, that Diana Taurasi did not play. That was also like the 3rd game in 4 days for the Mercury. So, understandable loss. Now, we've got the Minnesota Lynx. Now, let's look at their recent schedule, okay? They played on June 25th. They played the New York Liberty. They won that game at the Liberty 94-89. That was for the championship of the WNBA Commissioner's Cup. Remember what went on with the Commissioner's Cup? That was like the in-season tournament for them. They got paid for that. So that was a really big game considering the fact that the Liberty won the year before, and it was just more incentivized because they get a big bonus for winning that game, okay? So they win that game against the Liberty. They lose their next game against the Dallas Wings. You kind of understand the loss coming off a really big win against the Commissioner's Cup, a little letdown spot 2 days later against the Wings. I understand why they lost on the road. They bounce back with the road win against the Sky, and then they lose their last game to the Liberty. Now, this is the thing. They were leading that game against the Liberty by like 3 or 4 points with about 7 minutes left to go in the game. They had 65 points at the time. The final score of the game, 76-67. So over the last 7 minutes of the fourth quarter, the Lynx did not only score 2 points, the Liberty went on a 15-0 run and ended up winning that game. And that was also on the road for the Lynx, okay? But I get it. It was a revenge angle for the Liberty. They just lost to the Lynx in the Commissioner's Cup, so I understand why they lost that game. And yes, it's still a letdown, but they were still competitive. The Liberty just turned it up an extra notch to an extra gear and got it done. But it was not a bad game for the Lynx. So what are you saying, Noble? I am saying that I like the Lynx here today because if you look at their recent losses, they were not bad losses. They were just situational losses. And when you look at how the Connecticut Sun are playing right now, they're not playing good basketball. They're losing to teams that they shouldn't lose to, or they're having competitive games against teams that they were blowing out before. They've had some recent injuries. They've not been able to play as well. And now they have to go on the road where they're 4-5 against the spread this year. Meanwhile, the Lynx are 7-3 against the spread at home. Yeah, give me the Minnesota Lynx today, -3. I like the value that we're getting here. I like the Minnesota Lynx in this bounce back spot today as our second best bet of the day. For our third and final best bet of the day, I'm going to go with a little player prop parlay. It's kind of cross par here, so I'm going to have a little fun with it. So it's a little different, but we're going to go with Logan Webb. I just spoke about him in the game against the Braves, but we're going to go under 6.5 hits allowed. And then we're parlaying that with Christian Yelich to get 1+ hit, plus 100 odds, okay? Logan Webb, I just kind of gave you guys all the numbers on the Braves. I just said they're hitting worse in this month against right-handed pitching than the Oakland Athletics and the Chicago White Sox. That tells you all that you need to know. Dodgers last game only got 5 hits off of him in 7 innings. Now, don't get me wrong. Logan Webb is a guy who will give up hits. He's a pitch-to-contact guy, but just the way that the Braves have been swinging the bat lately, I'm not a fan with it. So I'm going to go with under 6.5 hits allowed, but it's super juiced. On my book, it was like -170. So I threw Christian Yelich to get a hit in there. It's one of the most guaranteed hit legs right now in all of baseball. Christian Yelich, over the last 7 games, is batting .448. He has 13 hits and 29 plate appearances. Over the last 15 games, he's batting .356. Over the last 30 days, he's batting .342. That tells you the type of form that Christian Yelich is in right now. I like him today at Coors Field against a Rockies team that gives up a ton of hits. Cal Quantrill's on the mound for the Rockies, so he could get hit. Having a little fun with this. If you want to take Logan Webb's pitching outs, it's like 18.5, so that's a little bit too high. If you want to take his under-earned runs, you can take a look at that as well. But I like the under hits allowed, and then Christian Yelich should get a hit. I mean, you might as well just throw that in there. If you want to get extra juice, throw Bobby Witt to get a hit in there. They're super high odds, so not the best value. I really like those hit legs today because I just don't really see those guys not getting hits, especially when you think about the limited sample size we have in the late night slate. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. 3 best bets, 3 winners that I've given you guys on this 4th of July holiday. Give me the Braves and Giants under 8. Give me the Minnesota Lynx -3. And then give me that little player prop parlay. Logan Webb under 6.5 outs. Christian Yelich over 1 hit or getting at least 1 hit. Now, I promised you guys the red, white, and blue parlay, okay? I will admit to you, depending on when you're watching, one of these legs probably would have started. So what's the red, white, and blue parlay? Because it is the 4th of July, we're going to go the Red Sox on the money line, Yankees on the money line, Texas Rangers on the money line. That gets you to plus 356 odds. Now, the Yankees are 1 o'clock first pitch start time. So if you cannot get the Yankees, then maybe throw the Dodgers in there. I get the Dodgers a little bit blue, but they rock the white jersey. So let's just go with the Dodgers instead of the Yankees. If you want a late night team, we'll fade Zach Gallen on the road as he continues to struggle away from Chase Field there. So you can throw him in there, or you could throw the Royals at plus value in there as well. I do like the Royals to pick up a win on the money line, and they're plus cheeky. So those are a few different ways that you could play around with this parlay to get better odds or to swap out different teams. But that's the red, white, and blue parlay today. Plus 356, Red Sox, Yankees, and Rangers. Appreciate all the love, support. Be safe out there today with your friends and family. And as always, dictate your fate. Get to that cheddar, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Later, gang.